Your hands are shaking. Look at them. Right now, in your lap or holding your phone. There is a tremor there, a subtle vibration that betrays everything happening inside your chest. Your heart is hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird. Your throat feels tight, swollen with all the words you didn't get to say, or the words you screamed that landed on deaf ears. You feel hot. You feel frantic. You feel like you're going crazy. And them, they are calm. They are sitting across from you, or they're in the other room, or they're on the other end of that text thread. And they are perfectly, terrifyingly calm. They might be sipping a drink. They might be scrolling through social media. They might be looking at you with that expression, you know the one. That look of mild confusion. That look that says, "Why are you acting like this? Why are you so emotional? I was just trying to have a conversation." And that's the moment you break. That is the moment you launch into the explanation. You start citing facts. You start pulling up history. You start trying to make them see your reality, to make them understand why what they did hurt you, why it was unfair, why it was cruel. You pour your energy into the space between you. You gesture. Your voice cracks. You plead for a shred of empathy, a single nod of validation. And what do you get? Nothing. Actually, worse than nothing. You get a smirk, a tiny, imperceptible curl of the lip that vanishes before you can call it out. Or you get a sigh, a long, heavy exhale that tells you you're exhausting them. You're the problem. You're the drama. You are doing exactly what they programmed you to do. Pause for a second. This isn't an accident. This isn't a communication breakdown. This isn't two people speaking different love languages. This is an extraction. You are being mined. You are a resource. And the resource isn't your money, though they might take that too. The resource isn't your time, though they will waste years of it. The resource is your emotion. The resource is your readability. Think about the last time you felt at peace, truly at peace, and then remember how quickly it was shattered by a single sentence, a backhanded compliment, a reference to an ex, a question about your weight/job/insecurities that was phrased as concern. They dropped a match, and they watched you burn. And the reason they could do it, the uncomfortable truth you don't want to look at, is because you are made of gasoline. You are soaking in it. You wear your heart on your sleeve, your trauma in your eyes, and your triggers on your skin. You think this makes you authentic. You think this makes you vulnerable and real. You've been told that communication is key, that honesty is the best policy, that if you just explain yourself clearly enough, people will understand. Wrong. In the world of normal, healthy psychology, vulnerability creates connection. In the world of dark psychology, the world you are currently living in, vulnerability creates ammunition. Every time you explained why something hurt you, you weren't setting a boundary. You were drawing them a map. You were saying, here, right here, this is the soft spot. This is where the armor is missing. If you want to destroy my afternoon, my week, or my self-esteem, aim exactly here. And they listened. They cataloged it. They stored it away in the arsenal. And they waited for a Tuesday night when they felt bored or powerless or just sadistic, and they pulled the trigger. And you reacted. You exploded. You cried. You defended. You engaged. You became readable. When you are readable, you are controllable. It's simple physics. If I know that pushing button A makes you cry, and pushing button B makes you scream, I am no longer interacting with a human being. I am operating a machine. I am playing a video game where I control the protagonist. I own you. And right now, whether it's a narcissistic parent, a toxic partner, or a manipulative boss, someone owns you. They own your nervous system. They have the remote control to your mood. They walk into the room, and your stomach drops. They send a text with no punctuation, and your mind spirals for 3 hours. They raise an eyebrow, and you start apologizing. You are dancing on strings you can't even see. And the tragedy is, you think the solution is to dance better. You think if you just explain yourself with more clarity, if you just love them harder, if you just prove your worth, they will stop pulling the strings. They will never stop pulling the strings. Why would they? The show is too entertaining. The supply is too rich. You are feeding the very beast that is eating you alive. Every tear you shed is food. Every paragraph of text you send explaining your feelings is a 5-course meal. They are gorging themselves on your distress. Your pain makes them feel powerful. Your confusion makes them feel superior. Your desperate need for their approval makes them feel like a god. You are an open book in a room full of illiterates who only know how to rip out the pages to start fires. And you keep handing them the book. You keep opening it to the most painful chapters and saying, "Read this. Understand me." And they just rip another page out and light it up. This ends now. But it doesn't end by winning the argument. You will never win the argument. The argument is a decoy. It doesn't end by getting them to understand. They understand perfectly, they just don't care. It doesn't end by leaving. Sometimes leaving isn't an option yet. Sometimes you share a house, a child, a workplace. It ends when you close the book. It ends when you become a blank page. It ends when you become unreadable. You have to understand the gravity of this shift. This isn't a tip. This isn't a hack. This is a fundamental rewiring of your survival instinct. You are going to have to kill the part of you that needs to be heard. You are going to have to smother the part of you that screams for justice. You are going to have to take all that vibrant, colorful, beautiful energy that makes you you, and you are going to have to lock it in a lead box deep inside your chest. It will feel like dying. It will feel like you are erasing yourself. But you aren't erasing yourself. You are putting yourself in a bunker. You are engaging the blast shields. Because right now, you are standing in the middle of a war zone holding a bouquet of flowers, begging the sniper to smell the roses. And you are wondering why you keep getting shot. Put down the flowers. Put on the armor. The first step to becoming unreadable is acknowledging just how readable you are right now. Look at the patterns. Look at the last week. How many times did your mood depend entirely on their mood? How many times did you rush to fix a silence? How many times did you answer a question you didn't want to answer, just because they asked it with a sharp tone? That is your readability. That is the leakage. And that is what is killing you. We are going to stop the leak. We are going to turn off the supply. We are going to turn you into something they cannot grip, cannot break, and cannot feed on. We are going to turn you into a gray rock. But before you can become the rock, you have to stop being the sponge. You have to stop absorbing their poison and squeezing it out as your own pain. You have to see the game for what it is. They aren't looking for a relationship. They are looking for a reaction. And you are the most reliable vending machine in town. Let's watch the tape. If we put a camera in your living room or install the keylogger on your phone, we would see the same movie playing over and over again. Different days, different subjects, maybe even different people, but the script remains identical. You are trapped in a loop, and you are the only one who doesn't know the ending. Scene 1. It's a Tuesday evening. You're feeling okay. Maybe you actually had a win at work, or you just feel lighter than usual. You walk into the room, and the energy shifts immediately. They are there. They sense your lightness, and they hate it, because your happiness is something they can't control. Your stability makes them feel irrelevant. So, they test the fence. They make a comment. It's small. Plausible deniability is baked into it. You're actually wearing that. Or, did you ever call your mother back? Or are you still ignoring her? Or, must be nice to have so much free time while the rest of us work. It's a jab, a tiny needle. And you? You take the bait. Every single time. Your smile drops. Your shoulders tense. You snap back. I'm not ignoring her. I was busy. Or, why do you always have to criticize me? And there it is. The payout. They smile. Not with their mouth, but with their eyes. They got you. They pushed a button, and you beeped. You proved that they still have the power to ruin your mood in under 5 seconds. Scene 2. The silent treatment. You send a text. It's vulnerable. Maybe you're asking for reassurance. Maybe you're sharing good news. Read at 2:14 p.m. No reply. An hour passes. You check your phone. Nothing. 2 hours. You check again. Your brain starts spinning. Did I say something wrong? Are they mad? Are they with someone else? You send a follow-up. Hello. Nothing. Now the panic sets in. The cortisol floods your system. You are now officially chasing them. You are begging for a scrap of attention. You call. No answer. You text again. I'm sorry if I annoyed you. And then, 4 hours later, the reply comes. I was in a meeting. Stop being so clingy. And you crumble. You feel shame. You apologize again. You just handed them your dignity on a silver platter because you couldn't handle the empty space. You couldn't sit in the void. You had to fill it with your own desperation. Scene 3. The twist. You catch them in a lie. A real one. You have the screenshot. You have the receipt. You have the absolute moral high ground. You confront them. You lay it out calm and collected at first. You said you were at home, but this shows you weren't. Watch what happens next. Do they apologize? Do they admit it? No. They pivot. I can't believe you're tracking me. That is psychotic behavior. Do you know how toxic that is? I can't be with someone who doesn't trust me. This is exactly why I don't tell you things, because you react like a maniac. And suddenly, the conversation isn't about the lie anymore. It's about your reaction to the lie. It's about your trust issues. And 10 minutes later, you are the one apologizing. You are the one crying, promising to do better, begging them not to leave. The lie has evaporated. The betrayal is gone. The only thing left is your guilt. This is the loop. This is the algorithm. Step 1. They provoke, poke, ignore, or lie. Step 2. You react, defend, chase, or explode. Step 3. They invalidate, gaslight, blame shift, or mock. Step 4. You submit, apologize, cry, or beg. Read that again. Look at step 2. You react. That is the hinge the entire door swings on. Without your reaction, the cycle breaks. Without your explosion, they have nothing to work with. Without your chase, they have no one to run from. But you are so predictable. You are so reliably, painfully consistent. You think your anger is strength? You think your shouting is standing up for yourself? Wrong. Your anger is their fuel. When you scream, you are telling them, you matter this much to me. You have this much impact on my soul. You are the center of my universe, and you have the power to destroy me. That isn't a fight. That is a worship service. You are worshiping at the altar of their dysfunction. You have trained them to treat you this way. Every time you engaged with the bait, you reinforced the behavior. You taught them, if you ignore me, I will chase you harder. If you insult me, I will try to prove my worth. If you lie to me, I will eventually apologize for catching you. You are a machine, a finely tuned high-performance machine designed to produce drama on command. And they know exactly where the on switch is. They don't even have to look for it anymore. They can find it in the dark. They can find it while they're half asleep. They say one word, use one specific tone of voice, and you activate. You spin up the rotors. You launch the missiles. You burn the fuel. And they sit back and watch the fireworks show that they didn't even have to pay for. Imagine how boring it would be if they pushed the button and nothing happened. Imagine if they insulted you and you just blinked. Imagine if they ignored you and you went on with your day, unbothered, living your life. Imagine if they lied and you just noted it, filed it away, and didn't give them the satisfaction of a confrontation. The machine would be broken. The toy would be broken. And a narcissist, a manipulator, a toxic person, they have no use for a broken toy. They only play with things that make noise when you hit them. And right now, you are the loudest thing in the room. You need to see this pattern not as a tragedy, but as a mechanism. Mechanisms can be dismantled. Wires can be cut. Batteries can be removed. But first, you have to admit that you are part of the machine. You aren't just the victim of the loop. You are the battery powering it. You are supplying the energy. You are supplying the reaction. And as long as you keep reacting, you will keep repeating this scene until the day you die or they discard you for a fresher battery. Those are the only two options on the table right now. Unless you choose a third one. Unless you choose to stop working. Here is the hard truth. The one that's going to make you feel sick to your stomach. You think you are in a relationship. You think you are in a conflict. You think you are fighting for respect, for love, for understanding. You are wrong. You are not a partner. You are not a friend. You are not an employee. You are a battery. You are a fuel pump. You are a syringe. Every time you engage, every time you defend yourself, every time you write that long paragraph explaining your feelings, you aren't communicating. You are injecting them with a drug. The drug is called supply. And you are the highest quality dealer they have ever found. This is the part that is hard to swallow. They don't care if the attention is positive or negative. To a healthy person, love feels good and hatred feels bad. We want the love. We avoid the hatred. But to the person you are dealing with, the narcissist, the emotional vampire, the high conflict personality, love and hatred are the same thing. They are both intensity. They are both focus. They are both proof that they exist. Think about a toddler throwing a tantrum. Does the toddler care if you smile at them or if you scream at them? No. As long as you are looking at them, they win. As long as the room revolves around them, they are safe. If you ignore them, that is death. If you look at them with anger, that is life. You have been feeding them life for years. When you cry, you are telling them, you are powerful enough to break me. When you scream, you are telling them, you are significant enough to make me lose control. When you beg, you are telling them, you are valuable enough to make me abandon my dignity. Do you see it now? Your pain is a compliment. Your rage is validation. Your obsession with fixing it is the ultimate ego boost. They don't want to resolve the conflict. Why would they? Conflict is where the energy is. Peace is boring. Peace is quiet. In peace, you might start thinking about yourself. In peace, you might realize you don't need them. In peace, the spotlight moves off of them. So they manufacture chaos. They create a crisis out of thin air. They pick a fight on your birthday. They misunderstand you on purpose. And you fall for it. You rush in like a paramedic to a car crash. You bring your energy, your focus, your emotions. You try to fix the crisis, but you are missing the point. The crisis isn't the problem. The crisis is the feeder tube, and you just plugged yourself in. This is why nothing ever gets resolved. This is why you have the same argument every month for 5 years. This is why they forget the promises they made. Because if they actually fixed the problem, the drama would end. And if the drama ends, The food source dries up. You are starving yourself to feed a parasite. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at how tired you are. Look at how much older you look than you did 2 years ago. That isn't age. That is extraction. That is the physical toll of being harvested. You have been trying to use logic to fight an energy addiction. You have been bringing spreadsheets to a knife fight. You have been thinking, if I just explain that they are hurting me, they will stop. No. If you explain that they are hurting you, they know it's working. I hurt you? Good. That means I matter. That is the twisted, dark, unrecognizable logic operating behind their eyes. And until you accept this, until you truly, deeply accept that your suffering is their sustenance, you will never be free. You will keep offering up your veins. You will keep wondering why they don't get full. They are a bottomless pit. You could pour every ounce of your soul into them, and they would still wake up tomorrow hungry for more. You have to stop the flow, not by leaving yet, not by fighting, not by winning, but by becoming utterly, completely, terrifyingly nutritious less. You have to become a jagged rock in a mouth that wants a soft peach. You have to become something that offers no juice, no flavor, no sustenance. You have to understand that your personality, your humor, your anger, your kindness, your grief is the flavor, and you are going to remove it all. You are going to starve the beast while it is sitting right across the table from you. This isn't cruel. This isn't mean. This is the only way to survive a predator that eats attention. You stop being prey. You stop being food. You become the one thing a narcissist cannot stand, cannot process, and cannot control. You become boring. The term gray rock sounds passive. It sounds weak. It sounds like giving up. That is why you hate the idea of it. You are a fighter. You are a person of substance. The idea of reducing yourself to a geological object feels like a betrayal of your own soul. You think, why should I have to change? Why should I have to dim my light just because they can't handle the glare? Because you are in a cage with a tiger and you are wearing a meat suit. This isn't about fairness. This isn't about justice. This is about biology. This is about the reptilian brain, theirs and yours. In the wild, predators are triggered by movement. If you run, they chase. If you fight, they maul. If you freeze and blend into the background, they get confused. Their eyes literally cannot track you. You cease to be a target and become part of the scenery. This is the psychological foundation of the gray rock method. It is not a communication strategy. It is camouflage. Skinner, the father of behavioral psychology, proved this decades ago with rats and pigeons. It's called operant conditioning. It's simple. Behavior that is rewarded gets repeated. Behavior that is not rewarded eventually stops. Right now, you are a slot machine. Sometimes you pay out in tears, sometimes in anger, sometimes in long, pleading texts, but you always pay out eventually. This is called intermittent reinforcement. It is the most addictive pattern in existence. It is why people lose their life savings in Vegas. The unpredictability of your reaction is what keeps them pulling the lever. They know if they just push you a little harder, if they just say that one cruel thing, the coins will drop. To stop the pulling, you have to unplug the machine. You have to undergo a personality-ectomy. You have to surgically remove the hooks they grab onto. Here is the difference between the silent treatment, which is manipulative, and gray rock, which is protective. The silent treatment is aggressive. It screams, I am punishing you. It is heavy with emotion. It creates tension. The predator feels that tension and knows they still have you. They know you are stewing. They know you are hurt. That is still a form of supply. Gray rock is the absence of weather. It is not angry silence. It is empty silence. It is the difference between holding your breath and just not breathing. When they insult you, you don't look away in a huff. You don't roll your eyes. You look at them. You blink. You say, okay. And you go back to folding laundry. You treat their words like background noise, like traffic outside the window. You hear it, but it has no emotional weight. You're the worst partner I've ever had. MHM. Did you want chicken or fish for dinner? You're not even listening to me. You're so selfish. I hear you. Chicken or fish. Do you see what happened there? You didn't defend yourself. I am not selfish. You didn't counterattack. Well, you're a narcissist. You didn't validate their reality. You just existed. You offered them a smooth, gray surface with no handles. No jagged edges to grab. No buttons to push. This destroys their script. They have a script in their head. They say X, you say Y. They scream Z, you cry. End of scene. When you don't say Y, the scene collapses. They don't know what to do. They are actors on a stage where the other lead just walked off and was replaced by a cardboard cutout. They will try to improvise. They will try to shake the cutout. They will try to set it on fire. But if the cutout refuses to burn, if you refuse to provide the fuel of emotion, the fire goes out. It has to go out. Physics dictates it. Fire cannot burn in a vacuum. And you are becoming the vacuum. You are stripping the interaction of all its nutrients. No drama. No ego. No backstory. No future faking. No hope. No fear. Just facts. Just logistics. Just the weather. It is raining today. The meeting is at 2 o'clock. I will be home at 6 o'clock. No. These are complete sentences. They contain information, but they contain no soul. And that is the point. You are protecting your soul by hiding it in the one place they will never look. Boredom. Narcissists and toxic people are addicted to stimulation. They need chaos to feel alive. If you become the most boring person in their life, if talking to you feels like reading a tax manual, they will stop talking to you. They will go find a fresh source of supply. They will go find someone who still has buttons. They will discard you. And usually, being discarded is the thing you fear most. But in this dynamic, being discarded is the only way you win. You want them to look at you and see nothing. You want to be the rock in the shoe that they finally just shake out and leave on the side of the road. This is the hardest part. This is the part where you fail. You understand the concept. You get the logic. Be boring. Don't react. Starve the beast. Intellectually, it makes perfect sense. You resolve to do it. You wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and promise yourself, today, I am a rock. Today, I give them nothing. And by 10 a.m., you are screaming. Why? Because they didn't just annoy you. They didn't just poke you. They lied about you. They attacked your character. They looked you in the eye and said something so fundamentally untrue, so twisted, so unjust, that your entire being revolted against the silence. You don't care about this family. You're just like your mother. I'm the only one who does anything around here. The injustice of it burns like acid in your throat. And your ego, the part of you that needs to be seen as good, fair, and sane, hijacks the controls. You think, I can't let that stand. I can't let them think that. If I don't say something, it becomes true. So you open your mouth. That is a lie. I do everything for this family. Just yesterday and boom, you're dead. You just walked right into the trap. See, you think you are in a courtroom. You think there is a judge and a jury. And if you present enough evidence, if you make a compelling enough closing argument, the gavel will bang and you will be declared not guilty. There is no judge. There is no jury. There is only the executioner. and you just handed them the axe. The trap relies on one specific weakness: your addiction to being understood. You have a desperate, childlike need for the other person to agree with your reality. You need them to say, "Oh, you're right. I was wrong. You are a good person." You are waiting for a validation that is never coming. And because you are waiting for it, you will keep explaining until your lungs give out. This is the JD trap. Justify, argue, defend, explain. Every time you do one of those four things, you are losing power. When you justify your actions, "I did it because," you are accepting their authority to judge you. You are asking for a pardon. When you argue, that's not what happened. You are accepting their premise that reality is up for debate. When you defend, "I'm not attacking you," you are validating their attack. When you explain, "I was just trying to help," you are exposing your belly. You are treating a wolf like a misunderstood puppy. You are trying to reason with a disorder. You are bringing logic to an emotional hostage situation. And deep down, it's about your ego. You can't stand the idea of them winning the narrative. You can't stand the thought of them walking away thinking they are right and you are the villain. It eats you alive. They're going to tell everyone I'm the crazy one. Let them. They're going to think I'm weak. Let them. This is the crucible. This is the fire you have to walk through. You have to kill the part of you that needs to be right. You have to accept being the villain in their story so you can be the hero in yours. Can you do that? Can you sit there while they accuse you of being selfish, while they rewrite history, while they project all their own garbage onto you, and just say nothing? Can you let the lie hang in the air, unmet, unchallenged, uncorrected? Can you feel the burning injustice in your chest, the physical urge to scream the truth, and just swallow it? It feels like swallowing broken glass. It feels like surrender. It feels like you are betraying yourself. But you aren't. You are saving yourself. Because the moment you stop trying to convince them, you start believing in yourself. You stop outsourcing your reality to them. You stop needing their signature on your permission slip to exist. I know the truth. That has to be enough. I know who I am. That has to be enough. If you need them to know who you are, you will be explaining yourself until you are in the grave. And on your tombstone, it will say, "Here lies someone who was right, but died trying to prove it." Don't be right. Be free. Being right is a consolation prize for people who are still trapped in the game. Being free means walking off the court while the game is still being played. Let them play by themselves. Let them scream at the empty bleachers. Let them win the argument. You win your life back. But to do this, you need weapons. You need more than just silence. Silence is hard. Silence is heavy. You need active, weaponized unreadability. You need the techniques that make you disappear in plain sight. You think gray rock means zipping your lip and throwing away the key. You think it means turning into a statue. Wrong. If you just sit there stone-faced while they scream, you are creating tension. You are creating a loud silence. And to a manipulator, a loud silence is a challenge. It's a dare. It screams, "I am judging you." It screams, "I am holding back." And they will escalate until you break. They will poke harder to get a reaction out of the statue. The goal isn't silence. The goal is monotony. You don't want to be a brick wall. You want to be a fog. You want to be something they can walk through, swing at, and scream at, but never actually hit. You want to be the verbal equivalent of beige paint. This requires a specific vocabulary. You need to delete 90% of your words and replace them with filler. You are going to become a non-player character, NPC, in their video game. You have 3 lines of dialogue. You have no backstory. You have no side quests. You are just there to facilitate the mechanics of the day. Here is your new arsenal. Memorize these. Burn them into your brain so they override your impulse to defend yourself. MHM. Okay, I see. You're entitled to your opinion. I understand you feel that way. That's interesting. Said with zero interest. Notice something about these phrases. They are unhookable. There is no Velcro on them. There is nothing to grab. Let's play it out. The bait. You're always so selfish. You only think about yourself. I bet you're planning to leave me, aren't you? The old you, the feast. I am not selfish. I stayed home last night just to help you. How can you say I'm planning to leave when I'm standing right here trying to make this work? Result, they got you. Now they can argue about last night or trying to make it work. You gave them 5 different threads to pull. The gray rock you, the starvation diet. I hear what you're saying. The escalation. Oh, so now you're patronizing me? You think you're better than me? Is that it? The gray rock you. No, I don't think that. The climax. You're pathetic. You're just a robot. You have no heart. The gray rock you. MHM. Do you feel the difference? It's agonizing for you because you aren't defending your honor. But it is excruciating for them because they are punching air. They are throwing their best haymakers, and you aren't even dodging. You're just not there. The tone is critical. If you say MHM with an eye roll, that's sass. That's war. If you say I see with a sigh, that's judgment. That's war. You have to strip the music out of your voice. You have to flatten your effect until you sound like a recorded announcement at the airport. The white zone is for loading and unloading passengers only. No emotion, no judgment, just data. Did you take the trash out? Yes. You did it wrong. Okay. You always do it wrong. I see. You are refusing to play tennis. They serve the ball, the insult. You don't hit it back. You let it roll past you and hit the fence. They serve another ball, the guilt trip. You let it roll. They serve a third ball, the crisis. You let it roll. Eventually, they run out of balls. Eventually, they look at you, standing there with your racket down, staring blankly at the court, and they realize the game is over. Not because they won, but because you stopped playing. This is weaponized boredom. You are making yourself unpalatable. A vampire can't drink from a stone. A drama addict can't get high on okay. You will feel the urge to be clever. You will think of the perfect comeback. You will want to say, actually, the reason I did it wrong is because you. Bite your tongue. Literally bite it if you have to. Being clever is expensive. Being right is expensive. Okay is free. Okay costs you nothing. Okay ends the conversation in 3 seconds. Okay protects your peace. Your new personality is bland, vague, brief. Be a polite acquaintance. Be a distracted barista. Be the person they forget 5 minutes after leaving the room. It hurts the ego to be forgettable. We all want to be memorable. We all want to be the main character. But in this story, being the main character gets you killed. Be the extra in the background. Extras survive the horror movie. The main character always screams. Your mouth is shut. Your words are boring. You are saying, okay, and I see. But your eyes are screaming. Your hands are gripping the edge of the table so hard your knuckles are white. Your jaw is locked tight enough to crack a tooth. Your shoulders are up by your ears. You are breathing in shallow, jagged little gasps. They can see it. They can smell it. You think you are hiding? You are practically holding up a neon sign that says, I am terrified and furious. And that is all they need. They don't need your words to get their fix. They just need to see the fear in your eyes. They need to see the tension in your neck. That physical distress. That is the purest form of supply there is. It is primal. It is biological proof of their dominance. If you master the verbal gray rock but fail the physical gray rock, you are just a mime performing a tragedy. You have to kill the body language. You have to master the dead eye. This is not the evil eye. It is not a glare. A glare is a challenge. A glare says, I hate you. And hate is a connection. The dead eye is the look you give a blank wall. It is the look you give a stranger on the subway when you are thinking about your grocery list. It is soft. It is unfocused. It is completely, utterly empty. Here is the secret they don't teach you in therapy. Don't look them in the eye. They say, eyes are the window to the soul. Exactly. And you are closing the blinds. When you look deep into their eyes, you are connecting. You are searching for humanity. You are searching for the person you used to love or the parent you wish you had. Stop searching. There is nobody home. And every time you look, you are letting them hook into your nervous system. Use the forehead hack. Look at the spot right between their eyebrows. Or look at the bridge of their nose. Or their hairline. To them, it looks like eye contact. They think you are engaged. But for you, you are looking at skin. You are looking at pores. You are looking at an object. You are not connecting. You are observing a specimen. This tiny shift disconnects the emotional circuit. You are no longer with them. You are watching them. You are a scientist behind one-way glass watching a rat navigate a maze. The rat is screaming. The rat is banging against the walls. But the scientist doesn't scream back. The scientist just takes notes. Now check your body. Right now, check it. Are your arms crossed? That is defensiveness. That tells them, I am protecting myself, which tells them, I am under attack, which tells them, you are winning. Are your hands clenched? That is aggression. That tells them, I want to fight, which tells them, game on. Relax. It feels unnatural because your body is in fight or flight mode. Your amygdala is screaming danger, but you have to override the override. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Do it now. Seriously. Lean back. Leaning forward shows interest. Leaning forward shows urgency. Leaning back shows indifference. I am comfortable. I am safe. Nothing you are saying is moving me. You are occupying space, but you are not holding space. There is a difference. Holding space is empathetic. It is active. It says, I am here for you. Occupying space is neutral. It says, I am here, and you happen to be here too. This is the uncanny valley effect. Robots look almost human, but not quite. And it creeps us out. When you go full gray rock, voice flat, eyes dead, body relaxed, you enter the uncanny valley for the narcissist. They look at you, and you look like their victim. You look like the person they own. But the lights are off. The reactions are gone. The fear isn't tracking. It spooks them. It makes them deeply, profoundly uncomfortable. They won't know why. They might say, why are you acting so weird? Or, you're being a zombie. Answer, MHM. I'm just tired. But underneath the insults, they are panicking because their reflection has disappeared. Narcissists don't see you. They see themselves reflected in you. They see their power in your tears. They see their brilliance in your adoration. They see their victimhood in your guilt. When you give them the dead eye and the relaxed posture, you become a mirror that has been painted black. They look for themselves, and they see nothing, just a void. And there is nothing more terrifying to a narcissist than the void. They can't exist in it. They need the reflection to know they are real. If you stop reflecting, they start to fade. You are turning yourself into a ghost in your own home. Not a ghost that haunts. A ghost that simply cannot be touched. You are there, but you are not available. You are present, but you are not accessible. Your body is a fortress, and the drawbridge is up. Permanently. You think the hard part is keeping your face straight. You think the hard part is swallowing your words. You are wrong. The hard part is what comes next. Because when you stop feeding the beast does not just politely walk away to find a salad. The beast starves. And a starving beast is a dangerous, unpredictable, violent thing. This is called the extinction burst. In behavioral psychology, it is a known law. When a conditioned behavior, them abusing you, stops producing the reward, your reaction, the subject does not simply give up. They try harder. They try louder. They try with more aggression, more desperation, and more cruelty. Think of a vending machine. For years, they have put in $1, an insult, pushed the button, your trigger, and gotten a soda, your tears. Today, they put in the $. They push the button. Nothing comes out. Do they shrug and walk away? No. They push the button again. Harder. They press it 10 times in a row. They start shaking the machine. They start kicking the glass. They scream at the machine. You are the machine. And right now, they are kicking you. This is the moment 99% of people fail the gray rock method. Because it feels like it is backfiring. You think, oh God, I made it worse. They're angrier than ever. They're saying things they've never said before. I have to stop. I have to fix this. I have to explain. Stop. Do not move. Do not speak. The escalation is not a sign of failure. The escalation is a sign of success. They are freaking out because they are losing control. The remote is not working. The strings have been cut. The panic you see in their eyes, the rage, that is the death throes of their power over you. They are cycling through every weapon in their arsenal to see what sticks. First, they will try rage. You are a stone-cold bitch. You are mentally ill. I am going to leave you. Your response, okay. Then, they will try pity. Suddenly, they are the victim. I don't know why you hate me. I'm depressed. I'm thinking about hurting myself. This is the hardest one. Your empathy will scream at you to comfort them. Do not do it. If you comfort them now, you teach them that threatening self-harm is the key to unlocking you. Your response, I hear you. If you are unsafe, I will call a professional. Then, they will try terror. They will threaten your job, your kids, your reputation. They will threaten to release your secrets. Your response, document it. Screenshot it. But to their face, I see. Then, they will try love bombing. Suddenly, they are the person you fell in love with. I miss us. I bought you this gift. Let's go on a trip. It is a lie. It is a lure. If you take the bait, the trap snaps shut the moment you relax. Your response, that's nice of you. No thank you. They are scrolling through the keyring. They are trying every single key they have to unlock the door of your emotion. Click, 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 panic, click, 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 rage. If you open the door, even a crack, during the extinction burst, you have done something catastrophic. You have taught them that the price of admission just went up. If you ignore them for 3 days, and then finally break when they threaten to burn the house down, you have taught them, regular insults don't work anymore. Now, I have to threaten arson to get a reaction. You have just leveled up their abuse. You have established a new baseline of chaos. You cannot fold. You have to ride out the storm. And it will be a storm. They will accuse you of being the abuser. They will say you are stonewalling, which is different from gray rock, but they don't know that. They will project every single one of their flaws onto you. Let them. Let them scream at the weather. Let them punch the fog. You have to view this scientifically. You are watching a tantrum. Whether it is a toddler on the floor of a supermarket or a 45-year-old CEO in a boardroom, the psychology is identical. They are screaming because they want the candy. If you give them the candy to make them stop screaming, you guarantee that they will scream louder next time. The only way out is through. You have to let the burst burn itself out. You have to let them exhaust themselves. And they will exhaust themselves. Nobody can maintain that level of high-octane rage without fuel. And you are the fuel. If you stay gray, if you stay boring, flat, unreactive, and dull, eventually, the fire runs out of oxygen. The kicking stops. The screaming turns into a whimper, or a sulk, or a cold silence. And that's in the mirror, and you don't recognize the eyes looking back. They are flat. They are guarded. They are the eyes of someone who has seen too much war. And the guilt comes rushing in like a tidal wave. Maybe I am the narcissist. Maybe I am the problem. Look at how cold I'm being. Look at how I'm ignoring them. That's cruel. That's abusive. Normal people don't treat their partners/parents like this. Your empathy, the very thing that got you into this mess, is now turning on you. Your empathy is screaming at you to go fix it. Go apologize. Go explain. Go give them a hug. Just one hug. Just show them you still care. This is the withdrawal. You are addicted to the cycle just as much as they are. You are addicted to the makeup phase. You are addicted to the relief that comes after the fight. You are addicted to being the good person, the fixer, the healer. And right now, you are none of those things. You are a wall. And walls don't get to be the hero. This is the price of disconnection. You have to accept that to save your life, you have to temporarily suspend your personality. You have to accept that you are suppressing your natural state of being. You are a creature of warmth, light, and connection. You were born to love. And you are currently forcing yourself to be a creature of ice, shadow, and isolation. It hurts. It physically hurts your chest not to reach out. It feels like you are amputating a limb. And they know this. They are counting on this. They know you are a good person. They know you can't stand to see people in pain. So, they will weaponize their own suffering. They will cry. Real tears. They will look small. They will look broken. They will sit on the edge of the bed with their head in their hands, looking like the loneliest person in the world. And you will stand in the doorway, and your heart will break. You will think, I did this. I caused this pain. If I just say I love you, it will stop. Do not move. Do not speak. Do not touch them. That person on the bed is not a wounded animal. That person is a hunter setting a trap. The moment, the exact second, you sit down and put your arm around them, the trap snaps shut. The tears will stop. The face will change. The accusations will start. Oh, now you care? After you ignored me for 3 days? You are so manipulative. And you will be back in the cage. You will have sold your freedom for a moment of comfort. You have to realize that your kindness is not kindness in this context. It is self-sabotage. It is feeding the addiction. Giving a shot of heroin to an addict because they are crying is not kindness. It is enabling. Giving a shot of emotional supply to a narcissist because they are sulking is not love. It is enabling. You are not being cruel. You are being a surgeon. You are cutting out a tumor. Surgery is bloody. Surgery is painful. Surgery leaves scars. But surgery is the only way the patient survives. You are the patient, and you are the surgeon. The coldness you feel, that isn't you losing your soul. That is you putting your soul in a bunker. You are taking your empathy, your love, your humor, and your light, and you are locking them in a vault deep underground where the airstrikes can't hit them. You are not killing them. You are protecting them. You are saving your warmth for the people who can sit by the fire without trying to burn the house down. You are saving your tears for the people who will catch them, not drink them. But until you are out, until you are physically, legally, and emotionally free, you have to stay in the bunker. You have to live in the dark. You have to be the ghost. It is lonely in the bunker. It is quiet. It is boring, but it is safe. Do not mistake the quiet for emptiness. Do not mistake the boundary for cruelty. And do not let your own guilt unlock the door. Because if you open that door now, after everything you've just done, after all the ground you've gained, they won't just come back in. They will burn the bunker to the ground with you inside it. This is the test of your resolve. Can you handle feeling like the bad guy in order to actually be the safe guy? Can you handle their narrative that you are cold and heartless? Can you let them think whatever they want, as long as they leave you alone? If the answer is no, you will slide back into the mud. If the answer is yes, you are ready for the final step. The choice. You are standing at a crossroads. To your left is the path you have walked for years. It is familiar. It is warm. It is chaotic. It is the path where you still believe you can explain yourself. It is the path where you still believe that if you just find the right combination of words, the right tone of voice, the right timing, they will finally see you. It is the path of high highs and low lows. The adrenaline of the fight, the dopamine of the reconciliation, the cortisol of the waiting. To your right is the gray rock path. It is cold. It is quiet. It is boring. It is the path where you accept that you will never be understood by this person. It is the path where you accept that you are the villain in their story and you simply do not care. It is the path of flat lines. No highs, no lows, just peace. You have to choose. And you have to choose right now, because you cannot walk both. If you choose the left path, if you decide that gray rock is too hard or too mean or not authentic to who you are, let me tell you exactly what your future looks like. You will spend the next year, 5 years, 10 years explaining your feelings to a brick wall. You will age faster than your friends. The stress will etch itself into your face. The cortisol will rot your gut. You will lose your voice because you have screamed it raw. You will lose your mind because you are trying to make sense of nonsense. And the worst part? You will lose yourself. You will become a hollow shell, a reactive object that only exists to reflect their moods. You will wake up one day and realize you have no hobbies, no opinions, no joy, because every ounce of your energy went into managing them. You will be a battery that has been drained until it leaks acid. And when you are finally empty, when you have nothing left to give, they will discard you anyway. They will trade you in for a newer, fresher battery. And you will be left alone, exhausted, and empty. That is the left path. It is a slow, painful, inevitable death of the soul. Now look at the right path. The gray rock path. If you choose this, it will feel wrong at first. It will feel like you are killing a part of yourself. You will feel the urge to speak, to defend, to engage, and you will have to swallow it every single hour of every single day. You will have to watch them tantrum and do nothing. You will have to watch them lie about you and say nothing. You will have to become a ghost in your own life. But then, something miraculous happens. The noise stops, not because they changed, but because they got bored. They stopped poking you because you stopped jumping. They stopped baiting you because you stopped biting. They drift away. They find someone else to torture. They spend more time at work, or on their phone, or with their friends. And in that silence, you start to remember who you are. You start to remember what you like to eat. You start to remember what music you like. You start to use your energy for your life, not their drama. You start to build a fortress of indifference that no insult can penetrate. You become unreadable. And because you are unreadable, you are unbreakable. But here is the final, uncomfortable truth I promised you. The reason you haven't chosen the right path yet isn't because it's hard. It's because you are addicted to the left path. You are addicted to the hope. You are addicted to the fantasy that this time will be different. You are addicted to the potential of them loving you the way you want to be loved. Gray rock requires you to murder that hope. You have to look at that hope, that beautiful, desperate, childlike hope, and you have to put it down. You have to accept that the person you want them to be does not exist. You have to mourn the relationship you never had. You have to grieve the parent/partner/friend you deserved, but didn't get. Gray rock is a funeral. It is a funeral for your expectations. But it is also a birth. It is the birth of your reality. It is the birth of your boundaries. It is the birth of a version of you that respects yourself too much to be treated like an emotional toilet. So here is the choice. Option A. Keep the hope alive. Keep fighting. Keep explaining. Keep feeding the vampire until you are dry. Option B. Kill the hope. Become the rock. Starve the beast. Save yourself. There is no option C. There is no middle ground where you can be vulnerable and safe with a manipulator. That world does not exist. You are either a supply source or you are a void. You are either open for business or you are permanently closed. Close the shop. Turn off the lights. Lock the door. Become the rock. And let the waves crash against you until they realize they cannot move you. And then, finally, watch the tide roll out. The choice is yours, but choose wisely, because you are running out of battery.